2 o'clock in the morning lock-in. It was a tough crowd. I heard someone yell out, "Give us Barabbas." It was a tough crowd. Yeah, I'm thankful. So, yeah, it was tough.
Every time I turn on my phone or the TV, it feels like the world's falling apart. The news is full of chaos, and if that's all you ever see, it's easy to believe everything's just getting worse. But that's not what I'm seeing behind the scenes. In real life, in our communities, I'm watching God move like I've never seen before. I've seen lives restored, churches growing, revival happening at business events, people stepping out in faith, and God giving dreams and visions, calling people to rise up and make a difference. And that's why I started Transforming Communities, because I want to show you what God is actually doing right now. I want to introduce you to my friends, people who are stepping up, taking risks, and transforming their cities for the kingdom. So if you're tired of bad news and you've been wondering if God still moves, He does, and these stories prove it. To support what we're doing and to hear more stories like this, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to be notified every time a new podcast drops, just click the bell icon next to the subscribe button. With that being said, let's jump into the Transforming Communities podcast. This episode is brought to you by our friends at Be Bold for Jesus. If you've ever felt the urge to live out your faith more boldly, to step up and make an impact in your workplace, your church, or your community, this conference is for you. The Be Bold for Jesus conference is coming back to Spokane, Washington. It's a weekend packed with worship, encouragement, and practical tools to help you live out your faith confidently. You'll hear from incredible speakers who are living examples of what it means to be bold for Christ. Tickets are on sale now at BeBoldForJesus.org. That's BeBoldForJesus.org. Grab your tickets today and let's be bold together. Today's guest is Tim Hawkins, man. I had the chance to interview Tim earlier this year at the Be Bold for Jesus conference, and let's just say it was pretty fun. Within the first 5 minutes of the conversation, Tim started cracking jokes, and I very quickly realized I am definitely connecting with a comedian. We shared laughs, we bantered back and forth, and it was just a blast. One moment I wish he could have heard was when Tim was leaving. He knew that we had just purchased the old Deja Vu strip club, so he turned back at me and he says, "Well, Caleb, I'll see you, bro. I guess see you at the pole means something different in your ministry." And our entire team laughed for probably a half an hour. But beyond the laughs, Tim also taught me some incredible things about public speaking. He showed me how to visualize different areas of the room and how to structure speech while communicating on stage. Since then, every time I speak, I think about the foundations of my message and the conversation that I had with him, and what I'm going to do to deliver in the first 5 minutes, how I'm going to move on to the next section of the speech, and how to walk through the rest of my talking points, all thanks to Tim. Tim is one of the most well-known Christian voices in comedy. He spent years making people laugh by talking about everyday life, family, church, marriage, and the little moments we all recognize immediately. His humor is honest, lighthearted, and easy to connect with, and you're going to understand it because you've probably lived it. Along the way, Tim has built a career through steady touring, online videos that reached millions, and a commitment to staying true to his faith and family. I got a lot out of this conversation, but more importantly, I had a really, really good time, and I hope you do too. So now on to the one and only Tim Hawkins. Well, Tim, this whole podcast is about transforming communities, and there's different ways to do that. Obviously, God's used you through arts and entertainment and all sorts of different ways to impact people's lives. And one of the ways that's not possible without being bold. And so we partnered with Be Bold for Jesus. It's an incredible conference. You're speaking at it, and we're just thrilled and honored to be able to be a part of the conference. But the first question I have for you is, because transforming communities isn't possible without being bold, what's something God's asking you to be bold about personally right now in your life?
Be bold in my life. Well, I think it's about knowing identity. You know, what are we here for? What has God gifted us to do? My wife and I are reading a book called Living Fearlessly, is it? And it talks about, really raw purpose. I think we're kind of vague with our life journey and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's really simple, Yeah. And so, I don't know. I mean, I've never considered myself a bold person. I do comedy out of desperation because I'm not good at anything else. I mean, I've tried everything else, and I'm just thankful that, I didn't go full time until I was 33. So.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And we're on our third kid.
Yeah.
And
you were on your third kid?
we were on our third kid. So actually,
Wow.
Heather was more bold than I was because
Yeah.
I was doing comedy on the side and then, doing the job to pay the bills. And she's like, you need to pick a lane, dude. And what was that? She said, I don't mind being poor, but I want to be poor with a purpose. So, so
She's like, no, for real, I said that.
but it's really, I
love
think
it.
when I got to a point where I thought, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. I think God gives you the boldness really just to break through all the nervousness and all the uncertainty. And most comedians were just really hypersensitive and want everybody to love us and tell us how great we are, and that's, another thing God really taught me about comedy. It's not about me. It's not about the results. It's about serving people. I used to worry about the one guy in the front row not laughing the whole time, and I just stopped doing that. I was like, I'm here for the one person who really needs it.
Come on. Yeah, for sure.
And gosh, how can you not be grateful?
Yeah.
For that kind of opportunity. And I don't even like the internet and YouTube and social media. It's so big. I still don't understand it.
Yeah.
But just to hear stories of people enjoying what I do and it helped them for whatever reason.
Yeah.
My gosh, that's a cool thing.
You've gone from I'm so curious now because you said you didn't start doing comedy. Did you start doing comedy younger than that, or you just didn't start full time?
Yeah, I started in my early 20s.
Cool.
And just kind of just messing around comedy clubs. But then I found that like churches, it's all about stage time. So,
Sure.
And churches, you go to comedy club, you get 5 minutes a week.
Yeah.
And the youth guys like, can you handle these guys for an hour? So if you can handle a bunch of middle schoolers at 9 o'clock on a Sunday morning, you're good. Right? Or a lock-in.
Yeah, that'll preach.
Lock-ins at 2 o'clock in the morning when these weirdos are hyped up on M&Ms and Dr. Pepper and pizza and trying to keep their,
I'm the Mountain Dew comedian. Right?
That was one of my first jokes about, a rough crowd. I was at 2 o'clock in the morning lock-in. It was a tough crowd. I heard someone yell out, give us Barabbas. It was a tough crowd. So, yeah, I'm thankful. It was tough. So yeah, it was tough. But I mean, I'd come home crying, just like, oh, it's just so humiliating and so hard. But once again, I didn't have it. Comedy was the deal I just didn't want to quit. So I'm glad I didn't.
So what's it like? What's the journey of the comedic life for you of going from, like, you went from open mics, and then doing churches to like full 90-minute shows? Like, what was that?
It's
journey
very
like?
incremental. I mean, and I do a lot of music because in church you do all ages, so music is always a good way to. And I like, I grew up listening to Weird Al and Ray Stevens and all these musical comedians, so I love music. And it's just, I'm a kind of a frustrated rock star anyway.
Yeah. But
there's no ginger rock stars, so it's like, well, I better stick with this. And once again, I was so, once you find something, you just put your head down and you just grind away.
Yeah.
And just trying to come up with material because nobody's writing it for me.
Yeah.
So, it's all trial and error and trying to be yourself. And I actually found out that the laughs were bigger when I told the truth instead of trying to be witty. And, it was just telling stories about my mom or my dad or my kids or whatever.
Yeah.
And people laughed harder. So
probably they can relate to it.
Well, there you go. I mean, that most comedy isn't about wit. It's about relating to people.
Yeah.
It's just like, because it gives them a sense of relief. Like they're not the only ones that think this or have said this or thought this or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
did you ever think you were gonna do this for a living, or was it your
I did.
wife?
I played baseball at University of Missouri, and I remember I stopped going to class. I went to college, but I didn't go to college.
Yeah.
And one day my coach comes up to me and he said,
I went to high school but didn't go to high school.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He goes, Hawk, I got your grades. I said, really? He goes, there weren't any. I said, okay. I said, I can't do this anymore, coach. I was like, and then we had a meeting and I said, I think I want to do comedy. And I was 20 years old.
Yeah.
21 years old. Yeah. And so it was in my mind, but how do you do that? There's no manual, right? There's no school. There's no Hogwarts for comedy. Christian's Hogwarts is from a movie called Harry Potter. It's anyway. Yeah. So
This guy's going to get me canceled with the church in the first 3 episodes.
well, yeah, right. Well, we're not past that. But no, my brother became my manager in like 2001.
Okay.
So I was just grinding through the 90s, just figuring stuff out, and then my brother became a manager, and that really opened it up.
Okay.
And then YouTube came along about 2004, 5, and that's.
Was it your idea or hers to jump on YouTube? That was a brilliant
Well,
move.
we got our friend Dan Ruppel, who was in a group called Isaac Air Freight. There was they're like the first Christian kind of performer comedians. They did skits and stuff, and Dan told me to just put as much content as you can on because a lot of comedians are very protective over their comedy. Like they don't want to, they want to burn their comedy or people to know what they're doing.
They don't want anybody to copy them.
Like, well, how is people going to know what you do if they don't see what
anything.
you do?
Yeah.
And I learned quick that the power of the internet is the fans, because they'll make their little clips, and then that's been really the engine.
Oh, so you never even? I guess that's a great.
I put up my
idea.
own
You didn't
stuff.
even have to clip it because you just throw it up there and they clip it for you.
Oh yeah, because
Wow.
when people started bringing their cameras back then, it was camcorders and all that stuff. I would be angry. I'd be like, "No, you can't do it." But then I realized this was it, and so when they introduced me, I'd have them say, Tim allows video and photography or whatever, but you got to promise when you get home you'll upload it to Facebook and YouTube.
Wow. So you flipped it completely on its head, because that's the exact opposite of what I'm used to. You hear going comedy show, you can't film it.
Yeah.
They're practicing, they're going city to
Yeah,
city.
you got to put them in a
doing the
bag.
same
You got to put them
thing.
in a security bag and
Yeah.
stuff because they're working the material.
So you
out.
took the strategy the opposite way, and you said, no, actually, I want everybody to film it. I want everybody to post.
Yeah, because then you'll go to your show and they're like, "You didn't do the bit," or
Yeah,
right. So I got to the point where I don't.
because they want the bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They want to see what they know,
Yeah,
and especially songs and things like that, yoga pants and Chick-fil-A and all this kind of stuff.
yeah.
So I got to where everything didn't have to be new. I could do
Yeah.
the hits, and then there's enough new material that makes it fun. So
one of the things that I thought about with you with boldness is one thing that you have that a lot of comedians might not choose to do is you seem to make the effort to keep your comedy clean. And I feel like that takes boldness, especially in
I get all my cussing done by noon, and like a true Christian, I think the cuss word. I don't say it, like God wants us to.
Yeah.
No, my all-time hero is Brian Regan, who is just the cleanest comic, funniest guy I've ever seen. It's good to have somebody in your life you'll never be as good as.
Yeah.
And it's been a great challenge because you have these kind of boundaries that you can't cross. But can you talk about sex? Can you talk about drugs and all that kind of stuff? And I do, but you have to know and not be an idiot.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I've seen comics that try to push the envelope just to push the envelope, and
There's a lot of those out there.
yeah, and they think they want to be edgy. I think if you're funny, you're edgy. Just be funny. Just don't preach to me. You're a comic.
Yeah.
You're right. Your plumber comes over. Just plumb. Right.
I'm going to your show to
fix
laugh,
the pipes,
bro. That's
dude.
what we're doing. Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
that was always our mission statement in the beginning was to be as funny as possible. And a lot of Christians may think, oh, well, it's to bring people. Well, yeah, I'm going to be, that's awesome. I want to encourage people. I'm a comedian.
Yeah, but
that's
they're
my
not
job.
they're not going to show up to the room for you to share the gospel if you're not firstly funny.
Right. And I think as Christians, we don't deserve anything. You have to build credibility and build trust. And yeah,
I want to pause there. Hold on a second.
Why?
That was an
I was on a
incredible
roll.
sound bit, but I want to that was great. You said as Christians we don't deserve anything.
From the world, right?
Yeah.
Just because we're they be good.
Yeah.
Be really good at what you do. Be good on your podcast. Be good making your coffee. Be good. Be excellent.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's what.
Do you ever see that in the church per se, and you're going, hey, we still need to do excellent at what we do?
Yeah, and I think the church really has gotten a lot better with the media and presentation and sound and lighting. Now sometimes people worship the worship, and that's not good. But I've seen there's still that pull to be accepted by the world, and I'm not going to say I've never wanted every audience to like me, but the fact is not everybody's going to like me, and I've got to be okay with that. So I've said no to a lot of things. I've had Hollywood call me just recently about being on a new talent show, and I don't have any desire for fame. I don't want it. Never did. I just want to be good at what I did and find enough people that like what I do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I love
That's
it.
incredible. I think that might be, but just see that mindset is what set you apart because you went into it with an automatic work ethic.
Yeah.
Do you think part of that was you're married, you got 3 kids, you don't have a choice, like you gotta make it work?
Oh yeah. And it wasn't, when I went full time, 4 kids, right? When I went full
your
time,
wife's like, I don't mind being poor, but I still want a roof over my head.
well, there you go. I wasn't leaving a big salary. The joke is I left a 6-figure salary, but there was a decimal. So that was helpful.
Yeah.
And one of the days I'll never forget is we used to have to go to credit counseling. I was going to file for bankruptcy. I talked to a lawyer because I didn't file for bankruptcy, but we had credit counseling, and I had to take a check every month downtown and give it to this person to get out of debt.
Was it sponsored by Dave Ramsey?
No. I wish I would have known, but yeah, the day that we paid off that was a big day. That was really, really awesome. So I still have that gratitude of knowing what it's like to be in that position. So I don't have any desire for to break it.
Got it.
To go mainstream. It's like I put my show up against anybody's.
Yeah.
I'm very confident. I think, and I love doing it. I think it's good. I hope you like it.
Yeah.
So,
what did you do before you did comedy full time?
Yeah, everything. Substitute teacher, paper routes, and worked at Enterprise Rent a Car, and I did data entry and just whatever.
You clearly have an entrepreneurial spirit about you. Because I think like your mindset that you were telling me of like, well, actually, I noticed that they were sharing my content. It was bringing more people into it. I'm going to switch it on its head. What I've found with my friends that are entrepreneurs, it seems like until they find the thing that they're called to, they have a million jobs. Is that kind of just been part of the nature of you just are a creative and this is what God's called you to, and until you just went full in?
Yeah, well, what came to a point when I had a team around me that can make those things happen, that could free me up to do that. When my brother became my manager, I didn't have to book gigs.
So that was the thing that you didn't enjoy was booking gigs. And you could just hone fully your craft and just making the show better.
Yeah, at the beginning it was all word of mouth. Mm-hmm. Like I would do a show and we'd write 10 letters, and we'd do the show and say, hey, the guy who did the event, hey, give these to 10 friends, and just say, hey, this guy did a show, and then overnight YouTube came along, so now you have the world. Yeah. So we started. You can leverage the world, right? And I found that success, because people would ask me, how do you go viral? How do you do? I don't know, but I do have some clues.
You'd be one of the first people to see that YouTube's where it's at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We but YouTube and social media is all about subgroups. It's people who like Chick-fil-A, people who are homeschooled.
Yeah.
You have all these subgroups. So once you kind of explode in those groups, it seeps into other groups, and that's how you kind of build your fan base. And I never had to sign with a label or anybody like that.
The prepping for stand-up seems like its own world of its own. And it seems like there's so many different ways, and you have to memorize so much. Mm-hmm. What does your prep look like?
Prep is, if I'm doing a show, like most of the time, if I'm kind of 4, 5, 6 gigs into a tour, I kind of know just the flow of it.
Yeah.
I've always used these memory techniques that I learned back in college.
Can you give me an example of one?
Well, like I do, it was Mega Memory was the name of the course, and back when they send you cassettes and they teach you just ways to memorize stuff, because most of school is just memorizing lists. So like one of the things is they're called pegs, and like like an example would be just parts of your body, like my foot, my shin, my knee, my thigh, my belt buckle, all the way up. I think about like if I'm gonna
brilliant.
If my first bit tonight will be about talking how good looking I am. I call it mess with the bull. So you mess with the bull, you get the horns, because I'm so good looking. So I think of like two big longhorns sticking out of my foot, and then the next bit will be about homeschooling.
So in your head, you're going, okay, the first 5 minutes is the foot, and then I'm going to the shin.
Yeah, I'll be done with that. Then what's now? Look, I think that my shin, and that's what I go. That's what I do next. And
that is for me. That just blows my mind because you preach a whole message. You could do anything that way.
As a speaker, guys have their own. Everybody has their own way of doing that. But I would highly recommend learning stuff like another technique is, you go into your living room, the peg idea. Okay, you go in your living room. To the left is the love seat. The next is the TV on the wall. The next is the plant in the corner. And you just kind of use those as things like if your plant idea is about airplanes, you think about an airplane crashing into your plant or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's worked.
Wow.
And then you can go back and forth. Hey, you want to skip ahead? You don't have enough time. Skip to this corner of the room or skip to that. But
the mind game of trying to figure all this out in its own seems like it's like you need Ritalin or something.
Yeah, it's very much choreography because I'll see in a lot of my jokes. I'll tell the joke and I'll turn this way. So it's really choreography, and then it leads me to the next thought. So it's everything, your body, your tone of voice, everything kind of leads your brain in a little journey.
That's incredible. You talked about subgroups.
Yes.
How do you have a team of people? How do you figure out what subgroups you're going to hit for the video?
You write passion. You write what you're passionate about.
Okay.
Comedy isn't about, I don't sit down and try to write things that I think are funny. I live my life. And then if something really irritates me, I'm like, there's probably some comedy in there.
Okay.
Because once again, like I saw a road sign that said "Slow church ahead."
Okay.
Slow church ahead. That's all it said. I'm like, that confused. Okay, that confused. I think that would probably work. That's right. And so I don't know where the funny is yet.
It's like they're trying to say slow down, church ahead.
Right. There's no punctuation. Am I supposed to drive slow, or is this just these people are really up front?
Yeah.
This is going to take all day. It's going to be a slow. It's going to be a slow service. So it's I took a course years ago that saved me 10 years. It's called Killer Stand Up.
Okay.
KillerStandup.com, and they had a writing and a performing course. Okay. And this guy got it. He talked about these. And there are gimmicks we use. Everybody uses gimmicks, the rules of three, callbacks, things like that. But it's just that. It's taking something happening today on the way to Whole Foods or whatever, and you just write out the story and you just tell how you put your feeling, your emotion to it. Because I'm not breaking ground on a lot of this stuff. Is all comedians talk about what I talk about, the subjects. It's just your point of view.
You're just look at it through a very specific.
Yeah, if I have 5 minutes or 5% that's actual original, I'm fine with that.
Do you think that a comedian's mind, you look through life through a different lens, and so you just find comedy? in things?
Yeah. We were talking about before. I was talking to somebody about comedians are very introverted. They're very shy people usually.
Really,
I'm kind of the boring guy at the party, but I love the energy, and I'm observing and then you get on stage or whatever, and that's when it kind of comes out. So, and that's
so interesting. I've also noticed that some of the best speakers that I've ever met are introverted. Mm-hmm. And you would never in a million years think they are, but what they do is they go back and they study and they read and they focus in on their craft while everyone else is out screwing around, and then they come out and kill it.
Yeah. We're I don't want to say boring. We may seem like we're boring, but I think we're fascinated by the world and what makes the world tick. And
got it.
We're just asking questions all the time, I guess. But it's also, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's like I didn't grow up a fashion model look, so you got to get attention somehow, right?
Look at me.
And it always comes down to that.
I'm important. God's blessed me too.
It always comes down to that. He's still just trying to get attention from a girl.
Well, yeah. But a lot of, but it is hard work. And most people that I know are funny. Everybody I know is pretty funny. My kids are hilarious. My wife is hilarious. My grandkids are hilarious. They just don't write down, or they never even think about doing it on stage.
Yeah.
So I was just, okay, you can make your friends laugh, but can you make strangers laugh? That was the challenge.
Yeah.
So
do you ever get bits from being a grandparent now?
This episode is brought to you by Helping Captives. You know, it's crazy how many people don't realize that human trafficking isn't just somewhere else. It happens right here in our own communities. Helping Captives is a faith-based anti-trafficking organization that exists to provide freedom, hope, and opportunity to survivors of sex trafficking across the United States. They do this through their different services such as emergency and stabilization, 24/7 around-the-clock care, professional counseling, and much more. If you're a survivor of sex trafficking and need help, or you're wanting to support a survivor's journey, take the first step at helpingcaptives.org. That's helpingcaptives.org.
Oh, yeah. One of them, just my grandson who's 6 now, you know, I was holding him or something. He's stroking my beard. He goes, "You got a lot of gray in your beard." It's like, yeah. He goes, yeah. I guess that means sometimes you're alive and sometimes you're not.
At 6?
At 6. And I was like, you know what? That's true. And that's like what I think sometimes I do feel like I'm not really existing and alive. But yeah, that's just amazing. That's one of the pleasures of our life as grandparents, Heather and I, is just watching our kids become parents.
Yeah.
And seeing that they're starting to understand how not easy it is, but they're so wonderful at it. And I remember just how tired they are now.
Yeah.
Because I look at pictures of myself when my kids are little, and I'm always just pasty and always laying down there on top of me, just running on fumes most of the time.
It sounds like you've got a fun podcast, and you actually have your family involved in that?
Well, we did. Then my daughter got pregnant.
Okay.
By her husband.
Okay.
So that put a shoe in the gears. It's on the up and up. Everybody relax, everybody. It's fine.
My whole team, by the way, is just dying laughing right now. I'm trying not to ruin the pod.
Okay, yeah.
The timing
Caleb, my daughter got knocked up, all right? And, what are you going to do? She was married, and it's all within the confines. So, yeah, just to do podcasts is, I watch these comedians. Well, they're not married. Yeah, you can do podcasts every day. But our schedules were just kind of not working.
When you were doing it, how fun was it to do with your family?
It was a blast.
Yeah.
Once again, my goal was to make them famous, and they had a lot of fans and a lot of fans, and yeah, that was just an excuse to be together, and it was fun.
That's awesome. I think the funniest one for me is the things you don't say to your wife. So you've got Chick-fil-A, you got yoga, you've got all those ones. What's the one that still gets you laughing to this day?
The song, Colonoscopy was a good song. I was like, some of these I write, I'm like, that's really good. I'll listen also, I'm like, that is really, really good. I did a kids album called Tuna Fish Sandwich.
Okay.
There's some good songs on that album.
Yeah.
That was 20 years ago. I like one I do now, one now called Karen. Just talk about Karens.
Dude,
and
I honestly, I'm going to be real, I haven't heard that one.
Sounds
and now
Starbucks, I'll do that tonight.
Have to jump on that.
Yeah, Sounds of Starbucks. I got a new one called Gingerbread Man. Just how much I hate gingerbread cookies. So, yeah, the music thing is just,
What made you think of the Chick-fil-A one? The reason I'm asking that is our family in town, a lot of my family's done ministry for a long time. And so everybody's always like talking about, my uncle and all the great things that he's done. He's just crushed it in ministry. But now we have a new, an Altmeyer that just is taking over a Chick-fil-A. And he's probably going to be the most famous now because now he's doing the Lord's work. And so I'm, shout out to Josh and his Chick-fil-A. And I'm curious to know where you came up with
that came
Chick-fil-A.
from, and we've all had the experiences that you're starving, Chick-fil-A, let's go get some. You drive into the parking lot, you really realize it's Sunday, and you have you have a meltdown in your head. Like, no, that's where it came
That
from.
happened to us at SeaWorld. We were at SeaWorld on a Sunday.
And
we
they
were
weren't
walking
open on
around,
Sunday?
and they weren't open,
Yeah.
and that's what we wanted. And
You had to wait a whole nother day.
Yeah, we had to go to a Satanist place and eat food there. There's no Holy Spirit in the food, and I was just so
If
mad.
they don't have a Bible verse in the cups, they are Satanists. You know it. McDonald's, just Baphomet, all that stuff. It's just Baal. It's just you're basically worshiping at the altar of Baal. Right? But they make a great burger. I mean, come on. It's tough.
So
It's tough.
when you're up on stage, things can't always go great.
Right.
What is like the worst fail that you've had?
Most frightening fail is I forgot my act. I was in Denver in 2018, and my mind went blank like 15 minutes into the show. And I couldn't. I was done. I was okay. I did a joke, took a drink of water, and I went back to the microphone. I was like, I had nothing.
You're
in
like,
my head.
was I on the shin or the knee?
There you go. And I even did this. What's on my thigh? I don't know. And I think my body was just so like, we're done. Is
it from the? Do you think you just forgot from the travel and all the stuff?
I think it was partial panic attack, and I'd never experienced one like that. What's that? Oh, the altitude. Yeah, I called it the altitude in Denver.
Yeah,
I thought it was that, but
Got
I
it.
really think that my body was. You need a change. You need. It's. There's so much stuff going on in my life at that time.
Really?
That it was starting to go bad, go south. Because I've been doing it for 17, 18 years, and
Well, it's got to be
and
a
it
little
was just-
terrifying because you're not just talking to like 3 people anymore. When
No.
you have a show, I mean, it's packed. There's
Yeah.
8,000 people here at the
yeah.
show.
Well, I thankfully I had a buddy, Darren Strebla, who's another comedian that I brought with me, and he walked to the stage. He goes, "I think you're having a panic attack. You need to go backstage. I'll take it from here." So I go back there, and they have just all these medics and oxygen, and I'm just like, and it's weird because I couldn't.
Oh, you weren't able to snap back into it.
No. Oh no.
Wow.
I just walked in the back and
Shout out to your boy, man.
see, I talked to him the other day and I said, you saved the night. So yeah, that's bad. And really anything that when I think of bad experiences, it usually has to do with distraction on stage.
Mm-hmm.
The sound isn't right, the lighting's goofy. You got a baby crying, you've got stuff
Yeah.
like that going on. That's usually the biggest. And I'm going because they've had a sign language lady up there. Has she been there for everybody?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that I'm not being honest with you. That might be a problem. Like I might ask if she can go down to this. I'm thankful for come on, man. But it's like anything.
Yeah.
Like if I do a joke about diarrhea, what's that gonna what is I don't even what is the word for
How do you
diarrhea?
use sign language for that?
No, I won't do that. But I've got a bit. If she's up there, I'll know what to do. I'll know what to do. Because there you go. You do it so much that I used to be like, okay, the horse blinders, do the act. And now I'm just open.
Yeah.
If it happens, acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Because that's when the best stuff can happen.
Yeah. I can imagine that's the only way to spin out of that.
Mm-hmm.
What we right now with us as an organization, we just bought a strip club and are turning it into an anti-trafficking center.
There you go.
And so that's been a
Like you do.
Yeah. That's been a unique story for us and the season of life we're in, and it's kind of a big.
Is the strip club still running, or is that
No, but
you're
there's
just gonna
still a lot of baby powder
merge
and glitter.
businesses?
So if you need some baby powder and glitter, brother, I got you. Yeah.
I feel like, what am I doing? Oh.
There was also a open shower, and so when we got the club, we actually started doing revival services in it.
Yeah.
And so we turned the shower into a baptismal.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
So
you're making me feel great about my life.
I'm sure there's some jokes that
Yeah,
you
well,
can
I
come
brought
up
a new
with in
water
that.
heater last week, so yeah, I know what you mean. Helping these people, I get it. I get it.
But in that crazy season that we're in, that's one of the boldest things God's asked us to do.
Yeah.
So but I'm curious to know, what's the boldest thing that God ever asked you to do, and what was the outcome of your obedience? Was it going into full-time comedy?
Yeah, I think so. It's a pretty bold move.
Yeah.
It's frightening. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It's a frightening, putting yourself out there to an introvert.
Yeah.
That's pretty bold. But actually, I think shutting it down, for, like I said, I mean, in 2018, it's like my family was getting scraps because you're doing 100 shows a year.
Yeah.
And it's like, no. So yeah, that was bold also. And I'll give Heather the credit for that. It was like, she's like, yeah, this is, and I was totally like, yeah.
If you could do a comedy with any Bible character, who would you do it
John
with?
the Baptist.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
Why?
Like, he was the best. Locust and honey. Just the whole sauces.
Yeah.
You could do a whole.
He'd be the
he's
guy
my
that
favorite.
you'd want to do a duet with.
Just out there in a loincloth, just yelling at people. Yeah, I'm not even worthy to untie his shoes. You don't. What do you, goofball? What do you mean? You're naked, yelling at people. Yeah, you're not worthy. Don't go losing your head. Oh, it's terrible. Terrible. Right. Right.
So we've got somebody here on the podcast. About 20 years ago, I guess, you walked over to their dad, and he was bald, and you just walked over to him and just rubbed his head.
Really?
And then just got right back into your bit. So they've wanted to know forever, like, do you just do that with the crowd? Or was that just
I
a
used
one-time
to.
gig?
I used to do a bit on 70 songs. I'd dance around like 70 songs. I'd pick up this guy in the front row and on my shoulder and stuff. And my mom's like, you need to stop doing that. You're going to break your back. So yeah, there was, for some reason, people let you do the weirdest stuff. And so I probably touched a lot of bald heads. Probably shouldn't have, but that's what the people come to see. They want to see the clown. Dance monkey.
I was going to tell you, actually, the reason I asked you was when he was driving home, he broke out in leprosy. So we were just trying to see if you were okay, bro.
He broke out in leprosy. I mean, I'm sorry. Sorry about the leprosy. Are you sure it was leprosy?
I don't know.
I think we need to ask that guy some questions.
Right. Last question, because they need you.
Yeah.
If a young Tim was sitting here listening to the podcast, what's one thing you'd tell him?
I would tell him that make your work and your life your life. Try to get there as quick as you can.
Okay.
Get there as quick as you can, because your family needs you to be in proximity. They need you to be there. They need to be present, and trust the process. And don't, you're on the right, on the right track. Just learn how to, divide your time.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is about being a professional, and that when you're working, and when you're not, you're doing your real job.
Yeah.
That's your call. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to be there in all facets of your being.
Yeah. And that's hard to do.
Yeah. It is. This is hard to do.
Yeah.
This has been horrible.
Well, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry to make it so hard on you. I got to go back to the drawing board.
Gosh, this has been just a
Yeah.
drudgery.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it. I hope I've helped you.
Yeah. I might get a couple followers after this. My
Use it all you
mom.
want. Hey, and send me the link. Get my info and send me the link, because I'll put it up on socials.
Okay.
I'll put it on socials.
Yeah, we'll collab, and I'm sure my mom will like this and follow me.
Oh, tell her I said hello.
Yeah.
Hi, Mom. Hey, Caleb's mom. Yeah. All right.
Well, brother, thank you so much for coming on. Appreciate you for flying all the way out here. Pray that your thing tonight just crushes. And I know you're going to change some lives and make some people laugh. And
Man, I
appreciate you coming
hope
on
so.
here.
That'd be good. That would be great.
Yeah.
Just encouragement and all that. And I saw Kirk Cameron speaking. What a good dude, man. Just legit. Just
Bro.
good people, man.
Yeah, I asked him a question about if his theology has ever changed, it has changed on End Times from Left Behind, you're going to want to watch what he had to say.
I know. Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I get it.
But we'll definitely link up and do that. And as we're, what is one way that people can follow you? What shows you got coming up? What kind of
just
plugs
Tim
do you
Hawkins
need to do?
comic. Go to timhawkins.net. There's just the show schedule there. So I'm in the middle of a fall tour now, and I do about half the shows I used to do, but I'm still out there. The electric bill keeps coming, Caleb.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Well, next fall, I've got going to the Dave Ramsey Summit, so I'll maybe tell him that you guys need to meet.
Oh, I would love to meet Dave.
Yeah.
Seriously, he helped us a lot, man.
Really?
Doing all the cash envelopes and all that.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's real.
We
Let's
were
go.
students.
He's got financial peace now.
He does. Yeah, I bet. Piece of what?
A lot, man.
We're going to fight. I feel like me and Dave are just going to butt heads. I'll take him. I think I could take him.
He's actually got an incredible sense of humor.
Does he?
And the amount of hate that he gets,
Dave Ramsey,
he
he's
just
got
plays.
that, yeah.
He plays off of it and rolls off
Very
of it.
dry, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for him. You got to have a sense of, something.
Yeah.
Just you're not full of yourself. You just like roll with the punches. He seems to have that, but.
All right, brother. Thank
Right
you
on.
so
Thanks,
much.
Caleb.
Thanks for coming on.
I hope you really enjoyed this episode. If you want to hear more episodes like this, please subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell. Your subscription helps us reach way more people with these messages. If you would like to come join us at the next Be Bold for Jesus conference, please go to BeBoldForJesus.com. You're going to hear from leaders like Dallas Jenkins from The Chosen, Greg Laurie, Ray Comfort, and many others boldly living out their faith in today's culture. Again, that's BeBoldForJesus.com to get your tickets. Bring your family, bring your friends, and come be encouraged. We can't wait to see you there.